Hi, this is Greg Patent for Yes You Can Cook, the way to cooking empowerment. Today we're going to make chili, one of the easiest, best homemade meals you can make. And what you need is a big pot. This is about 5 quarts. And I'm heating up 2 tablespoons of oil. You want to get it really hot. And then I'm putting in 2 big onions that I have diced. And I've already showed you how to do that. Put the onions in, give it a quick stir to coat with the oil. And what we're doing now whenever we begin a chili is we begin with what we call aromatics. So the onions are an aromatic vegetable. And then I'm adding a couple of bell peppers, also diced. And give that a stir. And then we're going to do garlic. And I have like about 3 cloves of garlic that I've coarsely chopped. And we'll just stir that around. And, you know, chili is one of the best things that you can make for pretty much any time of the year, but I think in a cold winter night it's especially welcome. And what I want to do now is give these vegetables a chance to kind of get to know each other and to cook and soften. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat down to medium, and then I'm going to cover the pot, and then we'll come back in about 10 minutes to see how they're doing. Well, it's been just about 10 minutes, and the vegetables are really starting to smell like they're cooking. So let's take a look inside. And what we see is that they are nice and soft, and they have released some of their liquid. This is just smelling terrific. One of the things I love about cooking is just the smells. Okay, so we now have our aromatics in here. The next thing is to add some spices, and so this is how we layer flavor into it. And I'm adding a tablespoon of chili powder, and I'll stir that in. And it's a good idea to add your chili powder before you add other spices, because that way they can cook and pick up some of the oil, and the oil helps to develop the aroma and also the flavoring. So here's a tablespoon of chili powder, and here's a teaspoon of oregano leaves that I have crumbled to also help to release their oils. And then here's about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and then a generous grinding of pepper. Now you could use Tabasco, you could use hot chili sauce if you want. This is pretty much up to you. Now at this point, where we've actually gotten almost all of our flavorings in here, if you were going to add meat, this is the time to do it. And you could add ground beef, you could add ground game of any kind, you could add ground turkey, ground chicken. If you had cubes of game, meaning if you had a nice hunk of game that you cut up into small cubes, this would be the time to add it. And then if you were doing that, you would need to add a lot of liquid, like say a bottle of beer, and then put it in the oven for a couple of hours until the meat got really tender. But we're going to do a vegetarian chili. And regardless of whether it's a vegetarian chili or not, I'm adding a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. And when you buy these crushed tomatoes, make sure it says just crushed tomatoes. You don't want to have anything else added to it. It's just a nice, very thick puree. And you see how thick this mixture is. And so now we can start to thin it a little bit. And I'm going to add a little bit of beer, and I'll stir that up. You could add, you know, as much as you want. I think pretty much a bottle of beer is sufficient. You need it thin enough, right, to coat the beans. You don't want it so thick that it can't coat the beans. So I'm going to add a little bit more. This is about half a bottle. And this is a dark beer, but you can use any kind that you like. Stir this up. And then I'm adding 3 cans of cooked drained beans, navy, pinto, and black. And you have to make sure that you drain the beans in a colander like this, and then you rinse it under cool tap water. Shake it to get rid of the excess water. These are 3 15-ounce cans, and then you just stir this all up. Make sure it's nice. It looks really nice and thick. And you know, you can serve this with cornbread. You can serve it with rice. You can also do shredded cheese, chopped onion, anything that you like. You can put in a hot jalapeno pepper if you want. But this is the consistency that it should be. So once everything is in, just cover the pot and let it cook for maybe about 10 minutes more. And then you're ready to turn it out into a serving bowl, bring it to the table, and everybody will love it, I guarantee. This is Greg Patton for Yes You Can Cook.